On Monday the 25th, we made some crystals on a stick. Now these girls next to me are going to tell you more about them and how to make crystals on a stick.
On Monday, we did an enjoyable experiment. We did crystal making. Here are the crystals. How we made our crystals. We put water in a beaker and some salt. Then we mixed it and left it for 4 days. And this is what we got.
After that, we did some water filtering.
We also made some dirty water and tried to filter it using things like cloth and netting. The dirty water had things in it like straw, hay, newspaper, mud and bunny rabbit droppings. At the end we made our water that was almost like drinking water. We decided that if it was the only water that we had, then we would drink it.
Did you know Africa is one of the many countries which is affected by dirty water? Here in England, we are lucky because we have water out of the tap.
On day 2, we went on our first trip to the water treatment works. Sue showed us around the reservoir and the factory. Sue showed us the chemicals that they used to make the mud stick together, such as aluminium sulfate. She told us about how they take water from 2 reservoirs and mix it together. On average, each of us use 130 litres a day. Even now, they never have had a chemical spillage. They are still prepared for any emergency. We all enjoy day 2. Day 3.
On Wednesday, we went to the sewage works. We drove to Trowbridge.
We learned how sewage is made clean.
But there are strange things which come through the sewage. Examples:
Bouncy balls, bones, nappies, coins and pansies.
Duncan, our guide, took us around the sewage works. This is what happened. First, we saw the pumps which pumped the sewage to the factory.
Then we saw the screen that separates the bad sewage from the good.
Then the sewage goes to various settlement tanks.
They want the water to be still so that the poo will settle at the bottom of the tank.
The water comes down a pipe and then gets put into a sprinkler. The water comes down onto the rocks that has microorganisms which feed on the tiny pieces of poo.
Then the water goes through a pipe that's constantly being checked.
It really stank.
Day 4. Bunsen burners. Today, we dyed some water with a dye called potassium permanganate.
Then we boiled it in a beaker with a Bunsen burner. We then watched as the dye went round in a sort of cycle.
As the water got hotter, the dye got darker and darker, and finally it went black. Next we did chromatography. The dyes in felt tips spread out. We made the colours separate by using water as a solvent. This is what they look